Hi guys, this is Shazal from Sankofa Day. I know that we've not posted anything on our social media for a while. It's just because we've been really busy preparing to launch some stuff this year. But I just need to share something really with you about this year's Sankofa Day 2020, the memorial for our ancestors. I've just come off the phone with the Trafalgar Square management team, and we put in our application last week to have this year's memorial in August. And we also put in an application to City Hall, which is a separate team, the City Hall events team, to ask them to support our memorial with help waiving the fees for a larger commercial event, and to help with funding this event. Because this year we wanted to do a much larger event, which would have lasted all day from 12 till 6. It would have had stalls, which would help us to educate people more about the transatlantic slave trade, as well as to help us raise funds to cover the costs of putting on this memorial. Because currently, as it stands, a lot of this is self-funding, and of course, because it's a free event, we're not covering the costs of the memorial, and that can only go on for so long. We put in this application last year. We've been in constant liaison with City Hall for the last 4 years, ever since we've been doing this memorial, asking for support, continually requesting support, and they don't support. To put it bluntly, we haven't received the support that we've been requesting. We were asked last year to put in a proposal to do this larger event, which we did. That proposal went ignored for, I think, 4 or 5 months, might even have been 6 months. It went completely and utterly ignored. We chased it, and it got to the point where I had to send an email to Sadiq Khan and his PA, and then we got a response. But it took so long that by the time they did reply, it was too late, because I think Sankofa Day was going to be the following month or the following 2 months. There was clearly not enough time. So we put in this proposal to City Hall as well, and the Trafalgar Square management team just called me today to say that City Hall have got back to them to say that they won't support our event because it's not the sort of event, it doesn't meet their criteria for funding events. They haven't had the common courtesy to get back to us. I have heard nothing from them, and this is how they continually engage with us. It's to simply ignore. So they haven't had the common courtesy to get back to us, but they have let the Trafalgar Square events team, Trafalgar Square management team know that they're not supporting us, and they've contacted us. Now, the general criteria for City Hall to support events in Trafalgar Square is that the events must incorporate the whole of London community. It cannot be specific to one community. Now, of course, Sankofa Day incorporates the whole of London community. It is not just for Black people, because this is not just Black history. This is British history. Slavery is British history. So our memorial, as everyone knows, has always welcomed everyone. We put it in our adverts, we put it in our promotional material, we welcome everyone, and we do that for a reason, because this is a history that is too little known about. Like, the actual details is too little known about, and it's a part of history. It's a skeleton in our closet that we don't want to address. So many don't want to address, but we need to come together collectively in a space of safety as a community, as a London community, in a British community, to talk about this atrocious piece of our collective history, and to remember and honour and learn from the mistakes so we don't repeat them. There's a huge legacy of the transatlantic slave trade, and that legacy is racism. That legacy is and that's structural racism, that's systemic racism, that's day-to-day racism. If we're looking at the Windrush scandal that's happening right now, that is a result of this disgusting piece of our history, which we refuse to address. So City Hall said that our event doesn't fall under the criteria for events they support. However, the events that they do support are Pride on the Square, Eid on the Square, Diwali on the Square, Chinese New Year on the Square, and I believe St. Patrick's Day on the Square. They used to have Africa on the Square, but they've got rid of that. So all of these communities, they're happy to support them, but it looks like our community that they don't want to support. As I said, they've not had the common courtesy to even have a conversation or anything with us. So I'm really disgusted. I'm very, 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 very tired of doing this. The constant battles and struggles we have to put on this event behind closed doors that people don't see. It's constant and it's exhausting. It's draining and exhausting, and I'm really, really tired of it. This country is so racist. It's so racist and disgusting, and I'm so tired of it. We've also now been told that we can't have the event in Trafalgar Square because they're doing works at Trafalgar Square, and the only events they're going to allow to take place during that period are for commercial events, larger commercial events, the very event that we asked City Hall to support us with, the very type of event that we've asked City Hall to support us with, but they've said no to. So we can no longer, we've been told, have our memorial, which has been for the last 4 years in Trafalgar Square, So I'm going to leave you guys to form your opinions on this. I'm very tired of it all. We will be having a memorial. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that my ancestors will be being honoured. So I just needed to share this with you guys because I think it's about time that we stopped doing this all in secret, and people started to really understand the very real struggles that we have, that myself and my team of volunteers have to put this on with the little to no support from anyone else. All right, thanks.